Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today after the day job, I am off to check out the latest Evil Dead movie, Evil Dead Rise. And this film looks like it's taking the franchise into a completely different area. The film is now out of the cabin in the woods and it is in an apartment building in the city. Now, this is just like Scream 6. We're starting to see a lot more horror come out of the cabin in the woods and the suburbs, and it's ending up in more of our cities. And this is what I have to say about that. Look, man, okay, we have enough crap to worry about living in the cities, then we need deadites walking around, or Ghostface, alright? So y'all can stay in the suburbs, and off in your little cabin in the woods, and just leave all of us alone. We got enough issues. Okay, so that's what I think is really interesting about this movie, though, is that it is going into a new area. We have a new director, Lee Cronin, I believe. I don't think that Sam Raimi has his hands in this film whatsoever. He might have an executive producer or something like that, but I don't think this has much to do with Sam Raimi, except for the fact that the Necronomicon and Deadites are going to be in this movie. So what I can tell from the trailer is that so far all they're showing is that these people who are affected by this are mostly just one family in this apartment building. But I seriously doubt that it's going to be just one family in an apartment building. You know those Deadites, man. Once they get out, they go everywhere. So I have a feeling that this is going to be one scary ass movie. So enough of me sitting here yimmer yamming jibber jabbing. I gotta get out the door because one, I got to go to work, and two, I gotta go see Evil Dead, or Rise of the Evil Dead, or Evil Dead Rise. God damn it. The name of this movie is Evil Dead Rise. Jeez. Welcome back, just getting home, and you know what, guys? I really enjoyed this movie. This was one hell of a roller coaster ride from beginning to end. Okay, so let's get this started. Like I like to do, we're going to do the negatives first, then move into the positives. Now, the thing is, don't really have any negatives on this movie, but I do have kind of a warning, and that is, this film is very gory, it is very bloody. I mean, very gory, very, very bloody. If you're someone who can't handle a lot of gore, blood, and violence, this is not the movie for you. This is not necessarily a negative, like I said. This is a warning. It is a horror movie. It's an Evil Dead horror movie. If you haven't seen an Evil Dead movie before, and this is your first time, this movie has got a lot of bodily fluids, not just blood. It's just, bodily fluids in general. Everything gets very red and sticky in this movie. So if that is something that you cannot handle, this is not a movie that you're gonna want to see. Otherwise, if you're someone who is sitting there frothing at the mouth listening to me talk about the blood and guts in this film, guess what, buddy? This is your movie. Holy cow, the blood and the gore in this film is intense. It is crazy. All right, so what exactly did I like about this movie? Well, I'm not going to go into the gore and violence. I feel like I have said enough about that, but it was pretty good. The practical effects in this movie are outstanding. I am almost 100% positive. I'm going to say 99.999% positive that there was not CGI used in this movie. If there was CGI used in this film, it's really super subtle stuff. Everything looked very practical, very real, very in your face. There's a lot of scenes where they have some very close-up body horror kind of stuff, and it looks very good. Of course, there's your usual possessed by demons, cracking kind of bodies and people crawling all over the place, but it looks really cool. The practical effects in this film really sell everything. It makes the violence, the blood, and the guts so much more realistic and so much more tangible and so much more frightening. Now that brings me to the scare factor. Is this movie scary? Yes, this movie is very scary. It is not just a jump scream fest either. There is plenty of atmospheric horror in this film also. There's a lot of scenes that just set up absolute dread. I mean, when this movie starts going, and it's not one of those films that take long to get going, they set you up and then you go. In fact, the very opening of this film is action-packed also. So yeah, it does not let down at all on you. And I like that. The pacing of the film is excellent. This movie flows really good. It's a very tight film. I don't believe it's much more than an hour and a half long. Could have possibly been like an hour and 45 minutes. I don't know. I couldn't tell because it just flew right by. The acting in the film is great. Everyone in this film does a good job. There's a few of your throwaway characters, of course. It is a horror movie and we need some body counts. But other than that, your main characters in this film are really well flushed out characters. The young actors in this movie also do an outstanding job. The lead characters, just great. The villain, the monster, awesome. This film is good. I don't know what else to say, but so far 2023, you have been very kind on horror. Now, to answer a little bit of a question I had in the intro, this film is not part of the Sam Raimi universe. It could possibly be part of the remake universe of the Evil Dead remake, but this is not part of anything else that's existed in the Evil Dead franchise. It's like a sub-story. They kind of explain how it works a little bit in the movie. Just pay attention and it gives you a few hints. That also brings me to some Easter egg points too. There are some fantastic Easter eggs in this movie. Just keep your eyes open for them. They're in it. Alright guys, this is a film that I think is solid. I think if you are a fan of the original Evil Dead series, you are going to enjoy this movie. Also, if you are looking for the humor that's in the Evil Dead movies, it ain't here. This movie is doing one thing and one thing only, and that is scaring the hell out of you, and it did an excellent job. So if you're expecting the slapsticky Sam Raimi jokes in this film, ain't happening, buddy. This is just pure horror. Well, guys, that's all I have for you. If you are a big fan of horror, definitely get out there and see this in theaters. If you're someone that may be a bit squeamish when it comes to the blood and the guts and you don't think you can handle it, maybe check this out when it comes to streaming so you can pause it or walk away or something when the more bloody parts come up so you don't necessarily have to see it. But in doing that, you're going to miss probably 75% of the movie. Alright, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's another thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.